Okay, so coming back, did you want to talk with me today? We'll do that some Sunday. We'll do a double talk. Not double talk, a duo talk. So, move on. So I have the lyrics here that I want to look at. Stop worrying where you're going. How many of you have that going on? Anybody? Stop worrying where you're going, move on. If you can know where you're going, you've gone. This is like such a science of mind song. The lyrics are so focused on what we teach. If you can know where you're going, you're already gone. Because the mental equivalent takes you wherever you want to go with whatever you decide to know in your mind. That's basically what he's saying. Just keep moving on. I chose and my world was shaken. And I love that Dot says, so what? I chose and my world, I decided to love and it hurt my heart. So what? Love again. I made an investment and I lost all my money. So what? Money is God in action. Go have some more. Make some more. Stop thinking that this is where I'm going to get my money. Well, who says? You, so you've limited to this. That's what he's saying here. The choice may have been mistaken. The choosing was not. What a brilliant lyric. Yeah, you may have made mistakes. Has anyone here ever made any mistakes? Has anyone here ever not made a mistake? Really, Kevin? The only mistake I know you didn't make was this. So, it is true, thank you. I'm blushing if that's even possible at this age. You have to move on. And then some of these lines, and the melody to this is so perfect too. Look at what you want, not at where you are. How quickly do we get caught into where we are and think that from where I am to where I want to be is such a long journey? It's not. It's just right here. Look at what you want, not at where you are, not at what you'll be. Stop worrying if your vision is new. Let others make that decision, because they usually do. I love that lyric. You know, how many of us get caught up in worrying what other people think about us? Or worrying if this is the best thing to do, or worrying if the song I wrote is any good, if anybody's going to like it. How often do we let ourselves stop because we're worried that we're not doing it perfectly? Keep moving on. And then I love this. Look at what you've done, then at what you want, not at where you are or what you'll be. Anything you do, and this is the best lyric for me, anything you do, let it come from you, then it will be new. The authenticity of who you are. Anything you do, let it come from the truth of who you are. I spent many years as an actor trying to be someone else. And not just the character, I mean James Mellon, trying to be a different James Mellon, a James Mellon that could get hired, a James Mellon that they might think of as right for this role. And yet, all I was ever taught, all I kept being taught by Sandy Meisner, by the Strasberg Institute, everywhere I went to study, Eulalie Noble, who taught for the Strasberg Institute, one of the first things she said to me, she said, you will be a brilliant actor the minute you start acting from you. She said, if you can drop everything and just be you, and then if they don't want you, who cares? But if you are you, someone's going to want that authenticity. Someone's going to want that truth. Someone's going to want that shining light that you're letting out instead of some fake light that you're making up because you think that's what they want. So, and then the last line is, give us something new. Give us something new. So, move on. The beginning of my talk today is about moving on. What do you know that it's time to move on from? I guarantee you, every single one of us has something that we know it is time for us to move on from whatever that is. Now, the thing about that is, when do you know it's time to move on? When do you know it's time to move on from a job, from a relationship, from, more importantly, from a mindset? When do you know that it's time to move on from some compulsion or addiction? Well, the answer is if you're addicted to it, move on. If it has a hold on you, move on. Anything that has a hold on you and is stopping you from letting your true self out, move on. So when do you know it's time to move on? Well, here's my answer to that. You already know. We don't even have to ask the question. You know. If something comes up and you question, is it time to move on? It probably is. We know more than we think we know. And we certainly know more than we allow ourselves to know most of the time. Now, the title of my talk today is The Power in Letting Go. Because here's the truth. You cannot move on from anything until you're willing to let go of whatever it is that's holding you back. So really today has to be about the power in letting go. What are you ready to let go of? What are you ready to move on to, but what are you ready to let go of? Are you ready to let go of your grievances? Are you ready to let go of your transgressions? Are you ready to let go of your anger? Are you ready to let go of the past? What are you ready to let go of? And what do you know is there in your mind that you have to let go of? Many of us have to let go of the very image of ourselves that we have in order to create something new. How many of you want something new in your life? Absolutely. The rest of you are good. You good, Nada? Nada's like, I don't know. I know Nada. Nada creates something new every day. Her mind is just constantly expanding and exploding. Same thing with Kelly Lang. That's why the two of you gravitated to each other today. You know? So what do you want new? You can't have new if you keep holding on to the old. If you keep going to the same restaurant, ordering the same meal, you are not going to find a new dish. How many of you still do that? I hear the chuckling. Right? I have a thing on my wall that says, if you're not being fed, don't go there to eat. But how often do we go to the same place over and over and we don't get fed? Kevin and I went to Bellflower, is that it? You know, one Sunday I talked to you about all those when I was flying back and I saw the list of the best restaurants in LA and we finally went to the one of them on my list. I will get to all of them before this year is out. That is my decision, and my intention, and I'm gonna do it. So we went to that one and, you know, octopus came out. I don't eat octopus. Who eats octopus? Wow, really? Anyway, I can't account for you, only for me. So they you know, there's octopus was on the menu, so I ordered octopus, saying, because as soon as I heard myself say, I don't eat octopus, I was like, oh my God, get out of your own way. Eat some octopus. Although last night I went to see Finding Dory, and I was feeling very guilty that I ate that octopus. How many of you have seen Finding Dory? Isn't it awesome? We ever think the only people there without children, but it was awesome. It was just awesome. 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. Anyway, that's the end of my commercial. So, what are you willing to let go of? I want you to make a list. I really want you today sometime to make a list of all the things you want to let go of in your life. You know why a list? So you can look at it every now and then. Because these things are very insidious. They can just stay in there and you think you've let them go until they pop up again and you're standing in your nightgown screaming at people on the street. Right? Although I bet it was a beautiful vision. Yes. If he had seen you, he might have had a whole different reaction. Yes. Because I was visualizing this. Yes. So what's the list you can make for yourself? Are you willing to, you need to let go of? Here's some of the things I came up with. Let go of opinions, judgments, anger, compulsions, resentments, transgressions. What has a hold on you? Whatever has a hold on you is what you want to look at. What has a hold on you? And here's the other thing, the big thing really. When I talk about what do I want to let go of, I want to let go of outcomes. How many of you think you know what the outcome should be in any given situation? Now, we talk about in Science of Mind this idea of outlining. How many of you know what outlining is in Science of Mind? Okay, so for the rest of you, and some of you who think you know what it is, it might be different. So outlining is this thing that Dr. Holmes talks about, where we take our minds and we decide how it should unfold. We don't allow the universe to unfold it for us. We don't just do our work and trust and know that it will always unfold for the highest and best, bless you, but we tell it, this is what I want and this is how it will happen. And so in doing that, we constrict the flow of energy and we don't allow the universe to bring in all the things that we probably haven't even begun to think of yet that will actually unfold it in the most majestic and magnificent way. Outlining is when we tell the universe how to do what it is we want done. And that's outlining. So when we talk about letting go and to let go of the outcome, it's about understanding that I can do whatever I want, I can intend whatever I want in my life, and then trust and know that as I continue to be moved forward and do this and move my feet, the universe is always conspiring for my highest good. Now, that is faith. That is understanding God as me in a very profound way. So, this building, as you know, has been for sale for a couple of years. And we have been talking about, where are we going next? What's going to be our next home? What are we going to do next? And I haven't really had to give it a great deal of thought. There was one moment there where I really had to give it a great deal of thought because someone was about to buy the building. So we started looking, and I'm like, I got to do this. And it wasn't until I relaxed into, I don't have to do this. The board can do it. No, I don't have to do this. I know a lot of you are here. I don't have to do this. The universe will always move me in the right direction. Well, just so you know, our building is in escrow. Yep. And we will, most likely, depending on what happens, escrows have fallen out. This one's not going to. What will happen is we will move to another, whatever's next for us. So for me, when I talk about simplify and why this month our entire theme is simplify. Simplify your life. And I have a very good prescription for you on how that works, which I will get to right at the end of this. So when I realized that I was in Guatemala when it happened. I come back. It actually keeps going through. The things that usually stop us didn't stop us, and we are now in escrow. And it's a very healthy escrow, and it will end very quickly. And we will stay here for a couple of months, that's all. And so I instantly had that. Do you ever have that moment where suddenly there's like this chokehold on your abdomen? Well, I had that. Now, first of all, I love this building. So there's an emotional tie to this building. I've been here 12 years. This building began my ministry, supported my ministry, and continues to expand it. And we are such a close-knit, loving community. And here we are, and this building has housed us for all these years. So once I got over that, once I just said, you know what? I have to trust and know and allow and simplify my life and let go. Because guess what? We can't move on until we let go. And you know when I think the reason this building sold? Because I finally let go of it. And I let go of it in Guatemala. When I was in Guatemala, I was laying on the river, and I was laying there being supported by the river, and I'm floating, and I was looking up, and I was like, it really is time to move on to something new, to a new expression of the Global Truth Center. It is time, and it's your responsibility, James, Reverend Dr. James. It's your responsibility to lead us somewhere, to take us to another dimension, to take this teaching to another dimension. And if I didn't have all the symbols I have to tell me that, all of the nudges I have, I certainly had another one come to me this week. So I was laying there in that water, and I went, in order to do this, I'm going to have to really let go of the building. I said, and you know what? I'm good. I'm really good. It's done everything I needed to do for me. It's time to move on. I'm okay. And I let it go. Now, I don't know if that's the exact moment this person put the bid on the building, but I know that by the time I got back from Guatemala, the building was sold. And I was like, is that all it was going to take? Wow. But I needed that 2 years to unfold. And you need all the time you need to let yourself unfold for whatever it is. But the letting go is really the step one of the moving on. You gotta let go. As Mama Rose says at the end of Gypsy. Mama's gotta let go. What did it get me? Anyway. So, what? That was 22 minutes. for those of you who are still doing this. So there we go. Let go, move on. And now where does simplify come in? So the title of my talk today, as I said, is The Power of Letting Go. There is so much power in letting go. When I was laying there on that river, and I actually felt letting go, I felt the letting go, it was amazing. It was an amazing feeling, a freeing feeling. And I thought, whatever I go back to is good. Now, y'all know the story of the elephant, the baby elephant, that is kept in captivity by a chain, as Karen talked about. It's actually not a chain, it's a clamp that they put around the baby elephant's ankle. And that clamp, and then they put a stake in the ground. And the baby elephant fights to get free from that clamp. And when the baby elephant's fighting to get free from that clamp bites into its ankle. It bleeds. It's a horrifying thing to watch, and I watched it in order to know what I was going to talk about years ago with mental muscle. And the baby elephant decides at that point it's contained. Flash forward, the elephant's now, what was it? I forget, 800 pounds, 8,000 pounds or something. I forget what it is. But all you got to do is put a little clamp on its leg and it stays still. Because the pain, the memory, the belief that that's holding it can. The elephant just has to do this, and it's done. That's all you have to do. Because you still have some of those clamps on your beliefs. You still believe things about yourself that aren't true, that never were true. You still believe that you're being confined by certain things. And certain religions and certain communities and certain politics, certain ways of thinking will hold us down if we are not willing to stand up and step out and kick that clamp off and say, no one can hold me down. No one can stop my mind from being free. That's the independence we're celebrating today. The freedom of your mind to choose, decide, let go, and move on to whatever it is you decide to move on to. So this week someone sent me a video. I put it on my Facebook page. How many of you saw the video I posted of the minister who was talking about gay life? Well, someone sent me this, and I don't usually react to these. I just usually go, I know. But something stirred in me this week when this video came up of a minister in Texas, a Christian minister in Texas, saying that the question was, is it all right for a good Christian to even attend a gay wedding? And then he went on this whole thing saying, we must love them, but we cannot befriend them. And we cannot go to their weddings because then we are saying that this is what Jesus would condone. And Jesus has made it very clear that it is not appropriate for same-sex marriages to happen. I don't remember Jesus talking about this in the Bible personally. I don't remember Jesus ever talking about this. And the man hung out with 12 guys. All I'm saying. And one woman who followed him around. Sound familiar? Does to me. So I got a little bit perturbed because then I watched the next video because I wasn't mad enough. I watched his next video on divorce, which basically said if a man divorces a woman, even if he's beat her, even if he has committed adultery on her, even if he just leaves her because he's not a God-fearing man, he divorces her and leaves her. It is her job to stay single and pure because someday he may find God and come back to her. I was like, I said, oh my God. So now here's the thing. I don't want to judge. I don't. Too late. I don't want to judge anyone. Here's the thing. I think anyone has a right to their beliefs, but when those beliefs start to infringe on my freedoms, I have to speak out. But you still have a right to believe all of that. And you have a right to live your life that way. I don't need you as my friend if you believe that my life is sinful. That's okay. And you can live a very happy, productive life. Just don't put it into any kind of political venue that would then affect my life. So I'm okay with all of that. And we have to be. That's how it has to go. So I'm watching all of this, and here's what I really got. Ernest Holmes at the back of the book says, show me a man who is for something and against nothing. Now I know I just stood here and showed you all that I am against with this particular type of philosophy and religion. I know I did. But that's not the man I want to be. And you've never seen me out there fighting against those things, because I don't. I stand for something. I want to be the man that stands for something. And I want to be the man that stands for love. unconditional love, one person for another. I don't care if what you are, in any way, shape, or form. So that's who we are. That's what Science of Mind is. But here's what's going on and why I'm bringing it up today on a day of freedom. And it's this: the power of letting go. I have to let go of my preconceived notions that I don't have to step out into the world and teach what we teach. And that the preconceived notion that this religion is a boutique religion that just attracts a certain group of people, and that's okay. It is not okay. And I believe it is time for us to speak what we believe and how we love. If that video is online, then I should be online saying the exact opposite and telling the exact opposite. And I believe it's time for all of us to rise up and do this, because it is time. When we look at the world, we look at the news, all the terrorism we're seeing in the world, it's because not enough people are speaking up on the other side. They're fighting it, yes. We're talking about bombing people and getting in there and fighting it. But what about standing up for the opposite of terrorism? Love. What about creating that movement, that real, honest, vibrant movement where people like me and people like you and people like Reverend Karen, we can get up and speak this to larger groups of people, bigger platforms. So am I glad we sold this building? Yes, it's a small little building and it doesn't contain nearly the energy that all of us have. It is time for us to move somewhere. And it's not that we have to find a 1,000-seat theater. That's not what I'm talking about. But wherever we go next, we have to make sure that that place is ready and able and capable to send this message out to the world in a big, professional, fabulous, amazing way. Yeah. And that's who we have to be, yes? So here we are on the 4th of July, Independence Day, and I am claiming my independence from anything. I am letting go of any limitations or doubts or fears or worries that I have to play small in any way, shape, or form. And that I don't have a voice to speak up against what I hear by speaking for what I know to be the truth. Yes. So that's letting go of the old, moving on to the new, moving on to a bigger picture, and simplifying. Ernest Holmes said, "We have made a riddle out of simplicity." We have made a riddle out of simplicity. We have made everything so complex, and yet it's so simple. It is so simple. I look over here and I see Heather and Jason, who live such a profoundly simple life because they get it. It's about love. The two of them went off and got married on a beautiful mountain, was it? We were on a mountain. So let's say congratulations to them. And when you talk to the two of them, what you really get is that they just got it. We just have to go look at each other, say we're in love and that you're my love for the rest of my life, and so it is. There's the marriage. There's the simplicity of it. There's the simplicity. Kevin and I, in September, we will celebrate 25 years of marriage. Wow. Real marriage. And it hasn't always been easy. It's been challenging at times for us in so many ways, and yet the bulk of our life has been lived in profound love. And if there is a person on this earth that has my back and loves me unconditionally, and you really got to work hard for that, that's Kevin. And I feel the same way about him. But that's the simplicity of it. That's the simplicity. Can it be that simple? Can life be that simple? I want to do this. Bring it on. Can it be that simple? What's the answer? Yeah. Yes, it can. The minute you get into the yeah, but, you are holding on to your yeah, buts. And they're the things you have to let go of. Let go of every yeah, but you could possibly have. I don't care if it's about your career. I don't care if it's about your health. I don't care if it's about your relationships. I don't care if it's about your creative expression. As George Surratt knows, at the end of that whole show, when she sings Move On, he gets it, and then he just starts painting again. Yeah, you may have a block. Oh well, we have blocks. There are times when we're blocked. But you know why we're blocked? Because we're holding on to something. Let go. Let go. That's what it means to let go and let God. Let go of all this crap and let God, that which I am, lead me. And when I do that, Now I am living a simple life. Now I have simplified things. Because if I can simplify it to the point where I let God, that infinite source of all, I let the God that I am in me doeth the work. Let the Father doeth the work. I have simplified my life so much. And as I look for this next space, and there are a number that we're looking at, I am not spending any sleepless nights over this. I am not worried or fearful. I know that since I have decided to be used to my highest and fullest and just wring me out, use me and wring me out, I know the universe will not put me somewhere that is not the most beneficial. I know that. And I have such strong faith in that, and that's the faith you must cultivate. I don't care how you do it. I don't care if you pray, if you meditate, if you do treatment. I don't care if you do qigong. I don't care if you pole dance. Whatever it is that brings you to a state of knowing that I got it covered. I am covered because I've let go. I am moving on, and I've simplified my life enough to let life live me. And when I let life live me, great things happen. And we haven't even begun to tap the surface of what the Global Truth Center is going to mean in this world. Are you with me? Yes. Namaste. Thank you, Karen. Woo! Thank you.